Missed Monday's show? Here's the recap, presented by Honda.
Do you think the league should have at least stopped the celebration to take a look as to whether Rudolph shoved off in the end zone?
Yes, I think in a moment like that, I think you have to take a look at it. My guess is that whether they did actually review it or if they didn't review it until after the game had ended, that the results would have been the same. In my opinion, Rich, it was pass interference. But I didn't think for a second under review that it would be overturned or changed. I think that's what makes it a bad rule. I thought it was a bad rule when it went into effect. I thought it was an overreaction at the time. And I think throughout the year, I think most people would agree that it's just been a bad rule. It's a lose-lose rule, and they got to get rid of it or figure out some way to alter it to where it makes more sense to anybody. I talked to Zimmer and Ziggy Wolff before the game, and they were complaining to me about the rule and how it hurt them so bad when they played Green Bay their first time around. You see what happens in San Francisco with the Seattle game. They're not going to rely on replay to call the penalties unless it's egregious, unless it compares to what happened in New Orleans a year ago. I feel bad for Al Riveron because I don't even think he knows what the standard is. When you put a rule in that says that you want something called one way on the field and another way when you look at it in replay, I mean, he was doomed to failure right off the bat.
Chris Harrison here on the Rich Eisen Show. You've seen a ton of awkward, long breakups in your day. Where does Jason Garrett and the Cowboys rank?
I would love to eventually talk to them and how well Mike McCarthy must have sold them in the room, because there was the interview that apparently was supposed to go just the afternoon, evening. He ends up spending the night, allegedly at Jerry's house.
Does he have a windmill?
Yeah, apparently they went, I mean, night one, basically, wrong? Jerry and Mike McCarthy went to the fantasy suite. 4 times later, they're engaged. Mike McCarthy's a closer is what I'm saying. He performed.
I'd love for you to recount what you told Sam Farmer of the LA Times about you having 3 opportunities to continue to play football after you retired. The Andy Reid opportunity, too. So he called you during a game?
We were in San Diego doing a game, and we did a game break, and they announced that Donovan McNabb had maybe broke his leg and was going to be out for a while, and I thought, oh, man, this team was pretty good, and that's a shame. And then right as we go to halftime, in my ear, my producer, Richie Zion, says, hey, I've got a number, a guy, Andy Reid wants to talk to you at halftime. And I said, you got to be kidding me. He says, no. So the only place I could get cell service was out on the concourse. And I call, and Andy answers the phone. I said, Andy, it's Troy. He says, hey, I don't know if you heard, but Donovan broke his leg. I said, yeah, we just did a game break. I'm doing a game right now, Andy. It's halftime. I just said, hey, let me sleep on this. I'll call you back tomorrow. And so I called him the next morning and said, hey, I'm going to stay put. I know what the reception would have been. It wouldn't have been good, and then if we won, it would have been, great. Then if you don't win, then they would hate me more than they already do now.
For more Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Rich Eisen Show app.